Today we have a very special guest with us. He's a left-arm quick and is the captain of his country in international cricket. He has played cricket for the men in blue and represented them at the Under-19 World Cup. Aside from being really, really good at cricket, he's also a computer engineer. He can play the flute and he can also sing. Glad to welcome the current United States cricket captain, Saurabh Netravalkar, with us. Saurabh, thank you so much for joining us on the Crickblog podcast. How are you?
Hey Shabal, yeah. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm really looking forward to the talk.
Welcome, Saurabh. So let's dive in straight away. Playing club cricket for Payade Sports Club in Mumbai, to playing for Mumbai in domestic age group championships and first class cricket, to the Under-19 World Cup on the international stage, and now being the skipper of United States journey. You have been around cricket for a while. Walk us through your journey so far. How did it begin? Where did you fall in love? And which was the moment where you thought, okay, this is something I can do, as a job?
Well, yeah, it's been a long journey. If I go back, obviously I started off like every other kid in India. I mean, it's biggest sport in India. I grew up watching my dad play. He used to play for his college. And obviously in the backyard where I grew up, there was a lot of craze for cricket. All kids used to play. So I used to just join the kids. And that's how it started, with the soft tennis ball, then rubber ball. And slowly, at the age of 10, I went to an open trials at an academy called ELF, Vensarkar Cricket Academy. There were under 13 trials for kids. I think that's when I got first privy to leather ball cricket per se. I saw cricket net for the first time, and I think that's when I got picked, and that's when kind of a professional journey started, where I started training 5 times a week, and I used to go after school. And obviously, gradually, then I came up the ranks. I played club cricket under 13, under 15. I made it to my state side in the under 15. Then made it to the National Academy, then under 17, under 19, and gradually growing through the ranks, I managed to make my way to play for the Indian under 19 team, which was obviously a dream come true for any kid to wear your country's jersey. I mean, it's a proud feeling. And yeah, from then on, I think 2015, I played first class cricket. I made my debut first class cricket. And then it took a little bit of a halt, where I was in and out of the side, and I took a call to stop cricket and come to the US. And that's when sort of my second innings of my life started, where cricket gave me another chance. So I split my journey into 2 innings, where this was a surprise for me. I least expected to play cricket in the US. And I'm really happy that life gave me a second chance to pursue my passion here.
And Shabal, you might not know this, but there is a rumor, Saurabh, floating. I've heard a lot, that you are obviously academically inclined as well. So I've heard a rumor where you obviously ended up doing your engineering from a really good college, really great college actually. But I've heard that if you were to get into IIT, you would have left cricket. Is that true, or is that not true?
So I was preparing for the IIT exams. Luckily or unluckily, I couldn't give the exam because I was in Australia playing against Australia under 19 at that time, and I missed my exams. And that would have been a dilemma at that time if I would have gotten selected. But in hindsight, I'm happy that I managed to continue playing cricket, and then I went on to play first class cricket.
Absolutely. That's a brilliant story. And then, USA gained ODI status. Tell us the feeling you had. You've had such a great cricketing journey, and then you see the US, your team gain ODI status. Yeah, talk to us about how you felt at that moment.
Yep. So I started playing for US in 2018. That was my first tournament, and I think the team was just in Division 3, and we literally. It was like a startup. We were actually scouting for players who were eligible to play, and we were building a team of strong characters. And we had a visionary coach named Pubudu. He's from Sri Lankan origin. He lives in Canada. I think we just built the team from scratch, and we worked so hard for the coming 2 years, and we gradually we advanced ranks. So we beat the likes of Kenya and stuff in a Division 3. We advanced to Division 2, where we had to face even tougher challenges like Namibia. We had to beat Canada. So we were getting bigger and stronger teams gradually. And the thing about associate cricket is that I would say it's more mentally tough than full member nations, because you know that you have only one tournament in the whole year and it's a make or break. So you have to play 6 games in a matter of 8 days, and your funding and everything depends on if you win or lose. So you have to make that week count. So I think it was really a special feeling to go through the line with the bunch of guys who we've worked hard throughout the year. We went through like Olympic training in US. We went to the US Army Center to train as well. So we tried to leave no stone unturned, and I think our hard work paid off.
And then the captain's role came about. Were you surprised, or were you being prepared for it?
Frankly speaking, when it came about, I was very surprised, because it was more of a sudden transition. I was the vice captain already though, but that was just my second tournament for US. But the coach showed strong belief in me that I had the ability to do the job. But it was new to me, because even in India, I had not led a team for the whole championship, a major team. I mean, obviously, I did it in club cricket and school cricket, but that's a different ball game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big step up for me. But I think he believed in me, and we worked together, and I gradually got better at it, I guess.
And talk to us a little bit about your team's recent form in the Cricket World Cup League 2. You know, you had some victories, had some losses there. What impressed you about the team, and sort of where was the room for improvement?
Yep. So right now we are at 50-50. I think we played 16 games. We have 7 wins and 9 losses. So we had a few losses last tour in Oman. So the first tour was good. We played Namibia and Papua New Guinea, where we won 3 out of 4 games in Florida. Then the second tour was, I think, our all-time high, where we played UAE and Scotland. And we defeated a Scotland team which had just defeated England and had come off a very high confidence, and we beat their full strength side. I think that was a validation for us that we have the pieces of the puzzle. It just needs to come all together more consistently. So I think those 2 tours were good. But I think when we went to the subcontinent in Nepal, I think we struggled a bit for the batting form, and we lost against Nepal and Oman. I mean, obviously, for a full credit to them, they had Sandeep Lamichhane at a world-class leg spinner, and Oman was also a good team who's come up the ranks alongside us. They were in Division 3 along with us, and both of us had qualified. So 2 quality teams. That's where we lost. And I think in Oman, we went again in Oman to play the same 2 teams, and we got just 1 win out of 4. But to be fair, we had 2 last over finishes as well, which could have gone either ways. Yeah. So on any other day, it would have been 3 wins out of 4. But I think our team is on the right track. It's just about building more consistent domestic cricket. I think the gap in USA is that it's such a huge country, right? Yeah. To even fly from San Francisco to New York, it's a 6-hour flight. Yeah. And cricket is so scattered, but there are really good cricketers in each pocket. So we need to nail the domestic structure. I think we had our first major tournament in the US called Minor League Cricket. It just concluded last week, and I think it was a big success with 210 games being played across 10 weeks. 27 franchise teams. So I think it's really good signs. There are turf grounds being constructed across the country. So obviously there has been a lot of investment in the coming years, and we are really hopeful that it becomes, close to a full-time profession. It's not yet there, but I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, interesting. You touched on it's becoming a bit more professional. What are the key things that USA Cricket is doing and has been doing to help grow the sport, in the country?
Yeah, firstly, I think there's a lot of emphasis on the youth. So they're investing a lot in the under 19 programs and also in the women's program. Our women's team is actually doing quite well. Then in senior cricket as well, they're looking how we can transition the good under 19 guys into a senior level. So the current tournament that we had, right, minor league, it had a rule that we have to play one under 19 and one under 21 in the playing 11. And that was, I think, a really welcome move. And we saw a few under 19 guys really step up and perform alongside the seniors. And we had obviously 3 overseas players as well. So the under 19 guys were sharing a dressing room with, say, guys who've played international cricket like Unmukh Chand, Ravman Powell, and some of the guys that had high profile overseas players, Ashley Nurse. So it was really good to see. And the domestic guys who are playing club cricket scattered across their regions got a platform to actually assess where they actually stand on turf wickets. Because that, I think that's another challenge in US. Not everywhere you find proper turf wickets. So we usually play on AstroTurf or matting or cement tracks, right? So that's another aspect where they're investing in. I think 10 to 15 new turf grounds have been invested in. Three have been in the San Francisco itself. They built 3 grounds over the last 2 years, and they're heavily investing in building the infrastructure. And obviously in parallel, they're also trying a bottom-up approach where they're trying to go into schools or trying to educate the natives, right, as so to say, of what the game is and how similar it is. Kind of you using a baseball as a reference, and trying to get fan engagement there as well. So it's a top-down and a bottom-up approach, both in parallel, where you're trying to get overseas guys, but also trying to educate the masses locally as well.
So is it safe to say that USA Cricket might go down the path of other sports in USA like basketball or football, where the collegiate sports structure is so strong that feeds into the top level?
That's the ultimate goal, I think. I think there's a tournament called Major League Cricket that is going to be coming soon, I think, hopefully next year. So they're trying to follow the same model like baseball, like minor league baseball, major league baseball. So we have minor league cricket, it just happened right now. So the top performers and the youngsters will be feeding into the major league teams. And I think the major league, that will be off the standard of, they're trying to have it at the standard of an IPL or a Big Bash, where you actually have the big players involved and trying to groom the youngsters as well. So it's really exciting to see that. And at the same time, they're investing a lot, like I said, in the under 19 program. So they have academies throughout the US where the overseas guys who are traveling as pros are also helping to mentor the upcoming youth. And they're actively involved in the coaching programs as well for the youth. So I think it's a good balance that they're striking there. And gradually, I think it's still a little away from reaching school and universities, but it's getting there. I mean, once the USA team reaches a certain ranking, and once the fan engagement is at a certain stage, then I think it will gradually get into the universities.
Brilliant. So, you spoke about beating Scotland and the things that USA is doing, domestically to help grow the game. what do you believe is the true potential of cricket in the USA? Can it, like, you feel in the next 10, 15 years compete with these, baseball, basketball, etc.? Could it be that popular, you reckon?
I guess it's too early, but I think the best, we can definitely compete with full member nations in the coming 4-5 years. I definitely feel there is the potential, at least skill wise and talent wise. The only lack is basically the volume of practice and the right mentorship and the right path. If we have those right infrastructure available to us, once we have the right domestic circuit, I think that's what is going to be really important, how we nail the domestic structure, because that will be the feeder to the national team.
And
That's,
is that the reason why it hasn't taken off fully yet in the country?
definitely, yeah. I mean, and now is what we are seeing, that we are focusing a lot on that, and we are already seeing the results from the tournament that it just happened. Because the main thing, like I said, is the geographic vastness of the country, right? It's a big challenge to sort of fly players for 6 hours, and to have a long duration tournament where you fly every week for 6 hours, it's a tough one. So for last few years, the most tournaments that happen are over a weekend, which is like 3 or 4 days. It's crunched into that time. So the max you can play is a T20 tournament with prize money, right? So I think that's what most of the tournaments are. But it's very important to nail the 50-over format, and gradually, as we progress, hopefully we get to play red ball cricket as well, the longer format of the game, where we actually build our basics and our skills to play good cricket, like good.
On to some more positives now. What is your dream or your vision for USA Cricket as a captain and as a player? And what is that moment where you will say, okay, yes, USA Cricket is doing really well now?
So personally, my vision, especially in the ODI format, I've been telling my coach since the last 2 years, is to play the 2023 World Cup in India. And obviously, we have a lot to do. We have to 20 more games to go, and we have to win most of them. But I believe this team has it. And if we make it to a World Cup and we give strong competition to any full member team, then we actually make a mark saying, hey, USA has arrived on the circuit, and we are a force to reckon with. I think that will be the ultimate dream, to see ourselves playing against full member nations and giving them a competition, right? And you never know, on our day, the results can go on our way, but that's the dream, to be consistently playing against these teams.
Yeah. And is that the vision that sort of what drives the entire squad, or whichever player comes into the squad? Is that what everything, that's the sort of back of the mind, where okay, this is where we are working towards?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're wearing the jersey of your national side, you want to play a World Cup, you want to do something for your country, and that's what drives us, has been driving us since the last 2-3 years that I've been playing. And obviously, another important goal is basically there's an Olympics in LA, I think 2029.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of talks that they're trying their best to get cricket into it. And that might be a really big one if that happens, and we'll be playing in a home crowd.
Absolutely.
So that's another big one. That could be a good dream. I don't know if I might be there around for that time, but that'll be good for the team per se. Yeah.
But are you keen? Obviously, you will be keen to play against India at some stage. What will that mean for you, playing against India at an international stage?
Yeah, that'll be a dream come true if we can do that. Obviously, we are a long way up. I mean, we have to climb up quite a few ranks to get there, to teams of those caliber. But obviously, if we reach there, that's going to be a dream come true. And it's possible in 2023 if we make it to the World Cup.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it would definitely be a dream come true.
Fantastic. So there've been many players like making the move to the US from around the world. Corey Anderson, Nurmuk Chand, Harmeet Singh, Smit Patel, to name a few. What do you think their impact on the sport will be in the country? And keeping that in mind, what is on the horizon for USA cricket in the very near future?
Yeah, like I said, so they benefit in two ways. Obviously, they'll spend their time for 3 years to become eligible to play for the national team. But I think what most importantly they will do is they will strengthen the standard of a domestic cricket in the country. And what they're also doing, like I told you, is they're also involved in youth academies where they're actually actively working with upcoming youth under 15, under 17, under 19. And the kids will now have good role models to look up to.
Yeah.
And to see the way they prepare, the way they play their game. And obviously, through the inclusion of rules like we have to play 2 under 19s in our playing 11 at the senior level as well. So they're actually sharing the dressing room with them. They're actually playing a game with them. So it's a combination of all these things where the professionals like Corey and stuff will really help us. And when they become available, obviously, it'll help the team as well. I mean,
And let's talk about the T20 World Cup coming up. Obviously, you expressed your disappointment about not being there. But which teams are you looking forward to watching in the T20 World Cup? Let's start with the starting initial stages of the qualifiers. Which team particularly impresses you the most?
I mean, among the associate teams?
Yeah, among the associate nations. Yep.
Among the associate nations, I think Oman, frankly speaking, is a force to reckon with. On their day, they have the characters who can do it. Their one I would expect to do at least one or two upsets that they might create. I mean, even if it's their day and they execute their plans well. And obviously, Scotland is a really good team. Scotland and Ireland. I mean, they've been doing really well. So those two teams I really look up to as well.
Any thoughts on Namibia as well? You spoke about Namibia before, and I think you have played in Namibia as well. Was it last year or the year before? What are your thoughts on them? Because they have seen a resurgence of cricket in their country after we saw them in 2003 World Cup. We saw under 19 World Cup in 2016, and over the last 4 years, they have really put efforts into the sport. So what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, they have a decent team as well. We've played them in Namibia where we won by 2 runs. I think that was a really close game. And then we played them in Florida where we won 1 and lost 1. Yeah, it's been good with them as well. They're more of a very disciplined team and they're very sorted in their plans and they try to stick to their plans. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All these teams are quite a force to reckon with. On their day, they're really good.
Yep. In terms of the entire World Cup, is your heart with India? Do you think they'll win it, or which team? Do you
right
think
now,
will win
it
the
is.
World
Yeah,
Cup?
obviously, I had obviously want India to win right now. But if we're participating, then no.
That's brilliant. So just to close, what are maybe the key priorities for the current USA 11? In the upcoming matches, your road to the 2023 World Cup. What do you think are the key areas you guys can build on and can improve to sort of keep winning those games on a consistent basis?
And also give us 2 or 3 players really who we can look forward to in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, so 2 or 3 key players, I'd say, obviously, Ali Khan, who's also made it. He's been doing really well in the CPL and he was also in the KKR team in the IPL. He didn't get a game in the playing 11, but he's one fast bowler to reckon with. There's another guy called Stephen Taylor. He's a lefty batsman. He's a special talent. And Jaskaran Malhotra, we just saw that he broke a world record. He hit 6 sixes.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He's a guy to reckon with. There's another couple of batsmen, Aaron Jones, who's been a good anchor. at number 4 for us. He's been scoring runs consistently. Monank Patel, he's another. He's in the mold of Virat Kohli. He has that kind of flamboyance, can play long innings. So we have the pieces, but we just need more consistency. I think what's been lacking with us is the consistency.
Yeah.
On our day, we've been really up there, but it's important for 4 or 5 guys to click out of the 11. I think that's where we need to focus on. And also considering 2023, we need to imbibe some youngsters into the team, some upcoming who can take the team forward as well. Because I think the average age, if you associate cricket, is a little higher than for full member nations.
Yep.
So it's important for us to get those young blood into the team as well. I think, and that's on the right track. We did play 3 or 4 guys who are under 19. So I think we're on the right track. We just need to be more consistent, and I'm really positive that we will come back strong.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Saurabh, thank you so much for your time today, taking the time out to chat with us. We really appreciate it. And it was great to get insight into the USA team and where you're going. And we wish you guys all the very best for the upcoming games and then for your visions and your dreams in the future. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, mate.